This is Earl Amin with the 2024 Site Podcast, where CEOs of small to global companies share their insights. It is 6 questions in 9 minutes because top CEOs know how to listen and be concise. So let's get to it. First of all, welcome. And in just a few sentences, tell us who you are and what you do.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me on the show, Earl. My name is Dr. Vilas Sastry. I'm a dentist, and the name of my company is Teledentistry.com. We provide virtual dental consultations to patients when they're having a dental emergency, and then we refer them to local dentists for definitive care once we have completed that consultation.
Wow, that fills quite the niche. Very
Yes, it
good.
does.
Well, tell me, Vilas, what's the best thing about being the CEO of your company?
You know what? We're on the cutting edge of innovation, and just by sitting at this particular seat at this particular time, the impact we're able to have on so many lives is just you feel it, and you know you're doing something good on a daily basis, and that's definitely a driver to keep the engine going. If that makes any sense, because you have your down days and you have your up days, but on the down days you need to be reminded of the why. So
Yes, very good. Well, I'm sure in your journey to your now, uh, that is true for myself as well, that we often hear from other CEOs that say that leading their team and being able to see the road ahead can be a challenge. What are your thoughts?
I agree. I think it's extremely difficult to kind of like navigate the exact path forward when you have so many avenues open in front of you. And I oftentimes I get this question a lot, like how did you know to create teledentistry.com years prior to the COVID pandemic? And
Yeah.
now it's the perfect solution. How is that? How did you know to do that? And I didn't know that COVID was coming, but I did know that teledentistry would be a thing in our profession, and so I very steadfastly set about building it. Now, for some other CEOs that may be in a different line, or a different industry, I would recommend them to, look backwards first before they look forwards. And that's exactly how I found the answer to how to build teledentistry, because I looked at a corollary healthcare industry, which is just general healthcare as opposed to dentistry. And I saw that, oh, look at the progression of what they did in medical, and they went into virtual, and I said, that isn't something that exists in my field. This is the way of the future. And so that was an indication to me to start building it. So I looked backwards, but I looked in a different industry. So
Yeah, that's very good. Very good. Well done.
thank you.
So let me ask you that in all the experience that you've gathered, especially because you are actually innovating in industry, what general and specific piece of insight do you want to share with other CEOs?
It is tiring, and so the most important thing to do, the most important talent that you must develop as a CEO is to know who to hire. I can tell you that our team is just absolutely the best, and I pride myself on that. And I don't know everything. I'm just a dentist. I mean, that's it, So, I don't know a lot about technology. I'm learning it now. It's not impossible to learn, but there are definitely people who have dedicated themselves to learning these different aspects of things. And so having a good team of people, around you is worth more than anything else you could possibly buy. So that'd be the advice to any CEO that is embarking upon these kinds of journeys. I will add to that, having a great co-founding partner is also important too. It's especially if you're starting a company and then taking it all the way to something big. It's without that person, in lockstep with you, things just become impossible. If you're walking into an existing company with already well-established systems and processes, those things kind of like those kinds of relationships will be established as you go. But having that person there with you as you start, a good co-founding partner is critical. So
Very nice. Well, tell me what other successful CEOs like yourself that you have met and are your contemporaries would you like to acknowledge or give a shout out to and should be on my podcast?
I have looked to many, as a matter of fact, and definitely Dan Amos. I've never had the pleasure of meeting him, but I have studied him. I've studied everything about him. He is the CEO of Aflac, the CEO of New York Life, another insurance company. He's just an immaculate individual. He's definitely somebody that I admire and would like to emulate in his accomplishments. And then, of course, on the telehealth side, Mr. Gorovic at Teladoc. That's another person I've also looked at and said, okay, on the telemedicine side of things, that's another person. Just in terms of people who you can look at and say, okay, you know what, they've followed a similar or a trajectory that I would like to kind of learn from. So that.
Sure, sure. Well, now for the final question, Vilas. How do you celebrate a win?
Oh man, that's a great one. I turn everything off, and I enjoy a cup of coffee, and that's how I celebrate a win. So and that to me is just like because I've got coffee here right now, and but I'm drinking that coffee just to keep me going, But to be able to really just sit back and enjoy it, as opposed to like drinking it for the reasons that we normally drink coffee,
Right.
It's another experience. Let's put it that way,
Yes.
to be at peace and enjoy the cup of coffee, So
Outstanding.
absolutely.
Well, Vilas, it's a pleasure having you on today. Tell me, how can people find you?
I'm on LinkedIn, just Vilas Sastry. So, I'm pretty quick about responding to messages. Teledentistry.com, I'm on the contact us page there too, so it's simple as that. So, I'm a friendly guy.
All right.
If you want to meet up, just hit me up. There you go.
Very good. This is Earl Amin with the 2024 Site Podcast. For more insights, go to LinkedIn and search for the Gray Owl Company. Dr. Vilas, thank you very much.
Thank you, Earl, for